to the Caro-Kirsch podcast. My name is Caro, and I have time again for you guys. So we have a lot to go through. I have a huge pile of projects here. Do you want to see? Ooh. This is what we're looking at today. So yeah, I don't want to do all the big shenanigans up front. So let's just get started. Welcome. This is the Caro-Kirsch podcast, and my name is Caro. And on these podcasts or videos, I like to talk about cross-stitch. Really, mainly cross-stitch, sometimes the odd other craft, but I'd say 99% these days is cross-stitch. And within that cross-stitch, I guess we have 85% Mylestönn Manor, and today is no different. But I decided to actually start, sorry, I'm rubbing my hands here. I'm using this cream. This is awesome. Not sponsored whatsoever, but I kind of rediscovered that I have this and it smells so good. I like it, but whatever. Back to cross stitch. We do have a finish today, and I'm actually going to start with that and then two more projects that I've stitched on outside of Mylestönn Manor, and all the rest, which I think is 7 projects I've stitched as part of my Mylestönn Manor game. So yeah, if you're here for that, stick around and let's start with my finish. If you watched my last episode, you will probably know which one this is because it's from this book. It's Cross Stitch in the Forest by Max Pigeon, who goes by Pigeon Coop Designs on Instagram, and I think also his webpage where he sells his patterns is called that. And I stitched a piece called Winter Walk out of this book, and I finished it. So this is Winter Walk, and I completed this last Thursday, as it was my travel project for the past 3 weeks. And the only regular time I travel is when I go with my daughter to her self-defense class. So I brought this and finished this last Thursday, and yeah, hang on, I did open it up before and now I've closed it again, hang on. So I started this February 11th this year, and I finished it on April 30th. So yay, it has a total of 3,134 stitches, and I stitched this 2/1 on 18 count, full cross. And I think the blues are as called for, but the bear I swapped for slightly darker colors. If you're curious, I can tell you. And then the lightest brown is actually a silky, variegating brown shades silky that I used. And yeah, really, really happy. Oh yeah, and one more change that I did, I gave my bear some eyes. They're very hard to see here too, but in the original, there's just nothing there. It's just all solid brown. And I figured, I want to give him some eyes. I want my bear to see. And in person, I can definitely tell. Yeah. And this actually also has some partial stitches, the design. I think you can see in the claw if you look really closely. The count is pretty small. I think the sample is stitched on a 14 count, if I'm not mistaken. I think there you would see it better. But a lot of these gaps here are created by partial stitches, which were fine to stitch on the 18 count. But again, with some of these, you can hardly see the gap just because the count is so small. So probably would recommend to go at least on 16 count, if not 14 count, to get the full effect of this. But I really like it. I think I want to pop it in a frame. I have one right there, but my kid is in there, so I'm not going to show you, but I think I have one left over. So I think I'm just going to pop this in a normal frame and then see if I can find a cute place for it in my house. So yay, one finish, and very happy about that. We have a lot of finishes lately, which I think from now on it'll take a minute again. Because the next project I worked on, which now is my travel project and also a travel project now, is that what I said? No, a non-full coverage is my Blueberry J pattern, which actually lives in this project folder that I made myself, and I really, really like it. I followed a tutorial by Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch online. So it has like the pocket and then just another type of pocket. So I put my fabric in here and then the floss and the image and scissors and all that on this side. So, and the Blueberry J pattern, which I finally printed out, is by JedXStitch or Jessica Doisy. And I really, really love the colors in this one. She just has a really great sense of color story and design. Yeah, most of her patterns are really cool, but I decided to start with this one. And I'm stitching this on a 46 count linen. It's the Malachite by Fiber on the Whim, which is the called for, the Malachite Fiber on the Whim, but it's called for on a 40 count. And I'm sorry, there's a ton of hanging threads and I'm in the middle of a color. But again, travel project. I picked this up after I was done with my winter walk that day, and then I always just have to kind of throw it out. And actually, if you follow my pattern keeper, I did 0 stitches on this, but it's not true. I'll pop a picture in from what it looked like before and you'll see something changed. But as I was talking about last time, I have a lot of struggles with not miscounting, and I did another counting error on this one. The colors are really not coming out properly. It's way too bright in the image. The fabric is much darker. But I kind of have to go close, otherwise you can't see my tiny stitches on the 46 count. Yes, but I made a mistake, so I had to rip out a bunch of stitches and then I stitched some different stitches back in, which is why I chose to show you, because it does look different from last time. And yeah, I just had to throw it away when my daughter came back from her class, and then once I was back home, I actually marked it off in my saga, and then I realized I virtually did a total sum 0, so I took out as many stitches as I put back in. But nonetheless, some progress happened. I corrected a mistake, so that is good. Then, and the last project that I stitched on outside of my Mylestönn Manor game is my newest start. It's a Gecko Rouge piece called Hydrangea. And the original artwork, you can tell, I printed out some artwork pieces, whatever you want to call these. So this is what the original piece looked like, but I am not a big fan of yellow. So I decided to actually that's the wrong term, do a color conversion to gray. So I just swapped all the yellows for grays. And now I am stitching this. But since last time, I actually, because I started in this corner, just to kind of see how my color conversion is going. And I'm happy with it. But I kept looking at it and also at the original. And then I was like, oh, what if I do put a pop of color in there? So what I'm thinking now is to actually do this and let me know what you guys think. This for now is virtually just a collage. So I printed out the gray and the yellow and cut out those 3 flowers again. Like this one is basically gray, but you can see there's a tiny little bit of yellow in there. So I was thinking to maybe pop these 3 original flowers back in. What do you guys think? Is that stupid? And I'm not even sure if I'm going through the pain of changing the pattern again, or if I'm just gonna, because it's so defined areas, because I'm already stitching this area and I'm starting to get in the border of this hydrangea flower here. So I think I might just put in the original in my saga and just stitch those flowers, and then once I'm done with those, transfer the progress into my gray file and then just continue stitching there. Because, yeah, otherwise I have to really mess around with the pattern. So, yay, let me know what you guys think, if I should do that. But I think I like this. Yay. But anyways, you can't see any of that right now. But I did add a few stitches, which since last time, I didn't tell you how much I added to Winter Walk. I needed 311 stitches to finish that one. But yes, Hydrangea got 515 stitches since last time, which I'll put in somewhere the before. Yeah, I just kept going. I'm not quite sure what method I'm following here. I think I was thinking of doing the typewriter block by block all the way across, but now with my new color thing plan, I think I might just stitch this gray area here because I think it all fits on there. And then once I'm done with that gray area, I might just do those flowers. I think that's what my plan is on here. But yeah, really happy stitching this 25 count 1/1 full cross. Is this focusing? Yeah, I think it is. Sorry, just had to do a close-up test. Yay. Okay, so yay, Gecko Rouge. Oh, and the artwork, I don't know, I don't think I said that, is by Katie Day. And charted by Gecko Rouge. Okay, and then we're in Mylestönn Manor. You guys, I know, you guys know that I love this game. It just works for me. I don't know why. Now I'm actually also getting a bit higher rolls, which is nice. And yeah, like around 1,000 stitches is just perfect for me as a rotation. And the Mylestönn Manor is sort of giving me that, but a little bit of variation. It's not always just dead on 1,000 stitches, which also keeps it kind of interesting. And yeah, and you don't have a deadline. I think that's definitely what is working for me. The whole gamification of it is really keeping it interesting for me, and I'm getting progress on my old stuff. So that is great also. So we have a bit to go through. So I have my Woodland Santa tree skirt. That's the project I had my last turn on. And here is what the piece will look like. I was thinking of reprinting this one because I did find a conversion mistake that I did. There's some orange in here, which technically should be some kind of beige, but I didn't feel like reprinting this one. So you'll just have to deal with what this will look like in the end. But it used to be a Dimensions kit, but it was out of print when I became aware of it. So I found a pattern online and just kitted this one up myself. And yeah, this is sitting in the dining room of my Mylestönn Manor game, which is a room I go through a lot. So I was working on a turn last time, and I've since completed that turn and also a second turn. So the total stitches I needed to do on this was 1,890 stitches. But I actually added 1,000, what did I say? 830.5. Yeah, that makes sense because I already had a little bit of progress last time that I've shown you. So I was just wondering. Ooh, and it's shining through. We have that problem for the first time. Hang on. What can I put behind it so we don't have... Is this enough to put behind? I think so. Yay. So yay, this is where I'm at right now. Hang on, what do I do here? Let's put it on that side, the before. So yeah, nearly 2,000 stitches more. And as you can see, I mainly worked on that deer. I think I completed that deer. Other than the back stitch, I think the bunny wasn't there either. So that's cool. I think that's the main progress. Yeah, I did some in the snow. That apple, my mistake that I was dealing with is now all fixed. Now I'm back on track. So everything should be correct right now. And I think I put in a few more stitches in that furry trim of Santa's coat. And yeah, you can already see that this isn't quite as orange as it is in my printout. And yeah, really, really happy with this. And I hit a bunch of milestones. The funny thing is, the last time I showed you, I think, or maybe the time before, was like, I'm making a hoop move, a milestone in this, because it is basically like finishing a page, and I don't work this by pages or anything. So I did count that as a milestone. And then actually the turn I was working on last time, I hit 3 milestones on this piece. And those 3 milestones were adding another 5,000 stitches. Like every increment of 5,000, you get a milestone. But I also hit the milestone of the 10,000 stitch increment, because I brought it over 10,000 stitches total in the piece. And then the third milestone, I hit that I reached 40% on this. It's actually currently sitting on 47.24. So the next milestone is already around the corner for the 50%. So I'm very excited about that. And yeah, so 3 milestones, yay. I reached them all in that one turn. So the second turn I actually lost the life on this, but oh well. That is okay. Yay. So very happy. Oh yeah, and I'm stitching this on 14 count. Navy Ada. Woohoo. Good. Next one. Hang on. Let me just grab all this. This is also actually living in a project bag I made myself. Very, very floppy, big one. But it can house this project. I think any super big project bag is bound to be a little bit floppy. And yeah, the next piece. I'm beyond excited about the next piece, because it is my oldest project. It's the first full coverage I ever started. It's the first full coverage I ever charted. And it is called Amazing Loon. That's how I'm calling it. It's based on a chart by Heaven and Earth Designs called Amazing Grace. But it looks very different because it has a swan and not a loon. And it also doesn't have the shadow figure in there. It basically just has the same background. That artwork is done by David Bartlett. And yeah, the loon is just charted from a picture I found. So yay, no artwork there to credit. I guess the photographer, but I don't know that one. So yeah, this is what it will look like in the end. And I started the year thinking I might be able to finish this. I don't think that anymore, but I would like to set this up for an easy finish next year. And I'm very close to a huge milestone, which is finishing the loon. Because the way I'm stitching this, and you can already look at the piece, the way I'm stitching this 2/2 full cross in the background and 1/1 full cross in the loon on 28 count. I started doing 10 stitch 2/1 in the loon, but that was just way too bulky. I did that way in the head, and especially in this area, which is crazy confetti. I just realized that would be too thick, which is why I switched over to 1/1 full cross. And I actually also started doing some sort of royal rose method. And yay, I finished all the way up here. Like, this is all done. Which meant I hit the milestone of finishing another row on this. I was actually still working on that row, I think, last time we talked. I finished that row, started back here, did all that row of like 20 by 10 stitch towers. And then I actually started back here, and then I realized this area in the wing, there's basically like 2 main colors missing and then just a bunch of tiny little confetti stitches. So I decided to stop doing the royal rose for now and just mark this whole area here that is just the wing, and complete that entirely. So that's what I'm working on. And as you can see, I parked all the colors now in this next section here along the whole area. And yeah, I'm nearly done. I think I have like 3 or 4 colors left in that area to complete this area. And then I don't really know what I'll do. Maybe I'll do tall towers. Maybe I'll just do the towers that way, completing this area, because this is more confetti again than where I think I'll need the method that has been working so well. But yeah, look at it. Doesn't it look great? I'm so happy with how this is coming out. So as I said, I hit a milestone finishing a row, but I also finished 3 colors in this. I had, I think, 4 completed for quite a while. Like, I think 3 of those are just some reds, which are virtually just in the eye and nowhere else in the chart. But I finally finished. Oh no, did I have 5 finished? I feel like I had 5 finished. I just finished 1 more color. So yay. But that was another milestone. So woohoo! And the end is in sight. This is how many? I don't know. I don't think I can tell you right now how many stitches are left as petite stitches. But I'm hoping maybe next time. I guess it depends a little bit on the Mylestönn Manor rolls. And I'm now not in the common room areas anymore. I finally upgraded to my private rooms. But anyway, so I added 2,420 stitches to this since last time, because I finally had a decent roll, which was exactly that. I guess I did those stitches on the dot. So yeah, that was pretty cool. It took me a while. It took me, I think, a whole week to get those stitches done. Because yeah, this is slow going, but so worth it. Really, really love it. Okay, have we seen it now? I think we've seen it now. Okay, project done. Shove it in a bag. This does not have a pretty bag. Doesn't fit its bag at all. I'm trying to make myself project bags for every project, but I don't know. I keep starting new projects. Sorry, my kids are playing next door, and you can probably hear them. It's the cup we brought from Portugal. Isn't that pretty? We have a colorful one too, but obviously, actually my husband also loves blue, so we're always fighting for this one. But this morning the dishwasher was just done and I just grabbed it out of the dishwasher. Anyways, so the next project, on my way to my new area that I unlocked last time already. I still needed to go through the stairs, which has the Hanged Man on it, which is a pattern by the Witchy Stitcher, and it's part of a nostalgic tarot series, which has all the major arcana cards of the nostalgic, not of the nostalgic, just of the tarot in it. And I'm working on my second card, which is the Hanged Man, and this is where I'm at. So on my turn, I rolled for 600 stitches, and I ended up putting 609 stitches in here. And I did a bunch. I did a bunch of stuff. I think I did like 1 or 2 of these stripes here on either side. I'm trying to complete colors. I know I did like some of this, the blue fill-in wasn't there, and that same color I kind of filled in the, but you'll probably see better than me right now in the before shot. I don't quite remember what I did. But yay, this is getting very close to its completion. I hit the milestone of 75% on this. I think I'm currently at 83%. So yeah, not much. I hope on my next roll, I'll roll enough to finish this. And because then something exciting will happen. I keep going back and forth on how I want to fill my projects in my rooms, but for now, the decision is the new rooms I open up with my cards. I'll just fill the rooms by age. So the oldest piece that is not in the Mylestönn Manor game will pop in a new room that I open up. But when I finish a project that is already in a room, which this one is the closest to completion by far, the wheel will put a project there. So that will be very exciting. So I'm definitely anxious to get back to the stairs and try to finish this piece so we can hopefully roll something of my newer recent projects onto my stairs in the Mylestönn Manor game. I think that would be very, very fun. So yay. I'm stitching this on 40 count, hand-dyed by me, 1/1 full cross. No, 1/2 full cross with a stash conversion. Let's just call it a stash conversion. And I also did a color conversion. There's always so many things to say because I mess around with my projects so much. I'm sorry. Those of you who follow me regularly. You're probably tired of hearing all this, but yeah. I feel like for any new viewers, which if you're new, hi. I guess it's kind of important to say these things. Because otherwise they'll be like, huh, why does this look so different? But yay, I didn't show you how it'll look like, but oh well. Maybe I put it in the editing. Okay, the next project. So now we're in the new area and I'm so excited because what I was hoping is working. So this is a project sitting in the hallway on my first floor, and this is called A Bird's Summer by Luca-S. And it's so pretty. I really, really like it. I'm stitching this one for my mother-in-law. I started it for her birthday last year. And I was just not drawn to it. I think in all of last year, I put maybe 1,000 stitches, just over 1,000 stitches in. And I more than doubled those stitches already. And I'm having so much fun. And there's more to be going into this project. So are you guys ready to see this? I was ready to see this. And the project progress is so quick too. Actually, I'll have to take off these magnets so you can see all the progress. It's in the hoop right now, so I'm covering a tiny little bit. But I think you'll see what I did. And it's looking so good. It's looking so good. So obviously I worked in that flower, which I still don't know what it is. I'm pretty certain it's not a rose, even though it has rose vibes to it. It's definitely the main progress I had since last time, but I also did work a little bit down here in the leaves. Because I had my hoop a little bit moved over before, but then I decided I just want to kind of work in this rose. That made most sense. And that's why I moved the hoop there. And yeah, it's fun. It's fun too. I really don't know why I never picked this up, but yeah, it's just the magic of Mylestönn Manor, I guess. So how much did I put in? So since last time I added 1,717 stitches. So yeah, I nearly tripled the amount of stitches in there because now the project in total has 3,238.5 stitches. So yeah, really, really nice. Really enjoying this. This is a Luca-S kit with anchor floss, which are really nice. I think they're very comparable to DMC. They're kind of thin, but yeah, nice to stitch with. Here, I'm just putting back my magnets. Yeah, actually enjoying this nerd tube size as well. This is a number 2. Most of my nerd tubes are number 3. I do have a bunch of number 4 and actually already ordered another one of this size too, because I really enjoy this size as well. It's nice and light. I'm sorry, I hope you can't hear my kids, but I kind of don't want to shut them up because they are playing nicely right now. And I feel like if I tell them off, it'll be a little bit unreasonable. So, yeah, I guess the one thing to note, I am working off of these things, which I'm not crazy about, but it works. It's fine. I don't think I'm going to bother putting them on these other floss cards, which I much prefer. But yeah, and also in a nice project bag made by me. I am working on putting all my projects in project bags. So yay. And then the last project, one we haven't seen in forever. Oh, hang on, sorry. One thing, the bird summer. We hit a few milestones. So let's not forget about the milestones. So on my first turn, I hit the milestone of 20%. Yay. I think I started, I don't know, what does this project start at? 12.3%. I think it has a total of just shy over 12,000 stitches. So yeah, I hit 20%, and then the other milestone I hit was less than 10,000 stitches left in the piece. So that was exciting. And then my current turn, which again, I'm still working on. I don't know how much I did, but I need to do 1,800 stitches currently. And I already hit the milestone of 25%. So yay, maybe I'll hit another one on this turn. That means I would also get to draw another card, because with the first turn I already drew a new card, but I'll show that to you in a second. But yeah, so that was the exciting milestones. But then I was able to go into another new room that we haven't visited yet, meaning the next project in terms of age got dropped in there, and that was my birthday start from last year, and one I really, really love, and that I haven't worked on in, I don't know, months now. I think I haven't touched this since December or something, probably even longer than that. But yeah, this is my first Gecko Rouge project that I got. I got it as a kit from Gecko Rouge, and this is called Pumpkin Spice Cottage by Kate Brazier. And I love it. I started this together with Anna from The Alchemist Stitcher. I started in the bottom right corner. She started in the bottom left corner, and we kind of are up to par in terms of progress. I don't know where she is right now. She did take off a little bit during the winter because I didn't stitch on this anymore. But I am currently at 11.26%. And yeah, I did actually finally do a hoop move after my last whip parade. And I started working on a new page, which I think you can tell right there. So I added, since you've last seen it, 989 stitches. And it's just a bunch of blues. Presumably, I'm moving into an area with less confetti. Right now, it doesn't really look like there's less confetti. But it's not aggravating confetti, because it's not like one stitch of one color and then you need a new thread color. It's a bunch. They're just not very logically put together. But I don't think that's the fault of the charter. I just love it. I really enjoy stitching on this. It was kind of weird going back to this because I was stitching on the Bird's Summer before. And the 18 count is actually really, really nice. I'm realizing, and I hope I remember after I talk about this one to say something about that too. But yeah, it was a little bit of a adjustment to go back to the 25 count. Because I think, yeah, I've been stitching on the Santa piece a lot and then the Bird's Summer. And I guess the 40 count also is a very different experience. So it's been a minute since I've had 25 count, which this is 1/1 full cross. And but yeah, got used to it pretty quickly again. I just remember it was a bit strange getting into it. But yeah, 989 stitches. No milestones, but that's okay. I'm actually still pretty good on live. We can look at my cool board. I haven't really been showing this, but yeah, this is my Mylestönn Manor board. I don't know. I don't really need it because most of my notes I do in my planner now because there's just so many things I keep track of. But yeah, I'm pretty good for life before I'm actually doing a health upgrade because I'm already at quite a few milestones hit. So there is a level up in sight. I actually did a level up when I hit those 3 milestones on my Santa piece. I did a level up. So yeah, and then I was already able to add 2 more experience points. Because I think I only needed 1 more for the level up before. But again, I haven't really been showing you because I don't think that's that interesting to you guys. It's really just my game and how I keep track of it. But anyways, so I'm pretty good on the life. But what I wanted to show you is my agenda cards that I'm working on. I think this one, I need to roll the minimum amount on 1 dice, meaning either a 1 on the D20 or a D12 or a 10 on the D10, which hasn't happened yet. And then the other card that I drew when I hit my when I completed my Bird's Summer piece is actually a blue card, because this is my new area, and once I complete a room in the new area, I have a completely different set of Mylestönn cards. So, and this is the first one I drew from the private rooms, and this tells me to stitch on the stairs level 1, which I don't even have access to. So that's kind of interesting. Obviously, I don't need to complete any of these, but I'll have to complete them if I want to progress in the house. So I do need to complete them. So yeah, I will have to head back to my private rooms in order to complete a room somewhere. But as I mentioned, the stairs are very close to completion, which will grant me a card. So yeah, I'll just need to search for the stairs now, I guess, so I can complete eventually this Mylestönn card, because I can only have 2 active cards. I don't count this one as active because I can't even do the task yet. So even if I haven't completed this one yet and this one is active, I can work on the next card. But again, detailed rules, which probably aren't that interesting to you guys. But yeah. So that's where we're there. So my strategy for Mylestönn Manor is to head back to, I guess I have 2 options now, because I do have still, so this was the office, the pumpkin spice piece is the office. And oh yeah, this is my Mylestönn Manor rooms. So this is the ones I already stitched on, but I already have access to the master bathroom, and by age, the Witcher pieces in there. So I guess I have a choice once I'm done with my bird summer piece to either go in the master bathroom just to stitch on the Witcher again, or head back to the stairs and try to complete that. I guess I'll see what I feel like doing. If I feel like stitching on the Witcher with crazy confetti and 30 count 1/110, or if I want to finish the stairs. I don't know. Right now the stairs sound better to me, to be honest. But I guess we'll see once I'm done with the bird's summer stitching. But yeah, I guess that is all the stitching. I don't really have plans other than kind of tag on to the plans from last time, because if you've been with me last time, you know that my original plan was to do the Lola Crow Sal, which is still my plan, but I have not acquired my fabric yet. But I did order it this morning, actually. So I hope to start this very soon. And speaking of the 18 count, I really, really like this. And that's actually why I made the decision, because I was stitching on the bird summer this morning. And I was like, I just want to stitch this project on 18 count, because I think 2/1 18 count has a really nice fullness to it. And then I realized one of the recommended fabrics on there was actually an Ada, this Weigert Ada, that I have access to here in Germany because it's a German company. So I ended up just ordering that one. I think it's Vintage Stormy Night, it's called in the US. Actually, here in Germany, it's not called that. You can't find Vintage Stormy Night Ada fabric here, but I found out that the color 7729, if that's incorrect, I'll put it on the screen, that is the Vintage Stormy Night. So I ordered that, and fingers crossed that will be it. Apparently, it's very close to DMC 03. So yeah. So I'm waiting on the fabric, and then I will get started with that project, because the first installment has already been released, I think already 2 weeks ago on Friday. And you can already see some Flosstubers having started that and getting well on their way with the frame. But as I said last time, I'm not trying to keep up with the sale. I just want to have it as a normal project. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad if a few installments already drop, because from what I've heard other Flosstubers say, it is a bit of a pain stitching the frame, because there's a bunch of gaps in there for all the things that will drop in there in the future. So I think it'll be actually nice if some of those things are already dropped in. I don't need to do all this weird counting, and I can just stitch whatever is going in the gap and then continue with the frame. So yes, I will start with it, because one of the big features that came out is like a blue whale skeleton that's hanging kind of in the top of the museum, which is just totally what her kind of inspiration image was that she shared on Instagram. So that's kind of cool. I'm excited about that. So I can definitely get started with that. And hopefully by the time I'm there, we have one of the top installments being released. We'll see. So yay, that is all my plans. Nothing else new, I guess, to add there. And also life-wise, we're just living. We have actually a long weekend right now. Yesterday was Friday, the 1st of May, which in Germany is a public holiday. It's called a day of work, but you don't work. So, yeah, and it's actually today they're calling for 26 degrees Celsius. So it's the first really hot day of the year with summer temperatures. Yesterday was already very, very warm, definitely north of 22 degrees. It felt warmer than in Portugal. And we were just outside. We went, I think I talked about that tree before. We have a tree that we like to go to, and my husband, he really likes tinkering around with ropes and all that stuff, and he likes to put up a zip line for the kids, which is taking basically all day. And we had a bit of a picnic going on, and we're eating hot dogs that we were frying on a little camping stove. So that's always exciting for the kids. And yeah, just a really nice day. And I think today we're just going to hang around in the garden and not doing a whole lot. But yeah, enjoying basically summer weather. I wouldn't call this spring weather anymore. But yeah, so that's all from my front. I haven't really started. Oh, one more thing though. Maybe in terms of plans. So I've seen a few people start doing live streams here on YouTube, and maybe let me know if you'd be interested, if you like live streams. I certainly do. I have a hard time catching some of them because even like with European streamers, they tend to stream at times when I'm like either preparing dinner or I'm putting kids to bed or I don't know what, or I just, yeah, like put kids to bed, come back, but then I forget that they were streaming or something. So I don't really catch a whole lot live, but I do like to watch the replays. And one in particular, she's called Nadia, and her YouTube handle is JedXStitch. I've been following her before. She does Flosstubes regularly every month. But she was working monogamously on a huge piece from, it basically has like Lord of the Rings imagery on there, and yeah, she's working monogamous on that, and she was planning on streaming that. She's actually since switched to a different project, one of mine, or not one of mine, but I have that one too, like the Ragnarok sampler. So that was kind of cool to see. And yeah, I try to catch her, and it's really fun. She's actually streaming over on Twitch, which I don't know where I would like to stream, if I would do the YouTube thing or if I would actually go over on Twitch as well. I guess that's another thing you could let me know what you would prefer. I think just to test it out, and for ease, I would probably just do it here on YouTube, and I don't need to set up a whole Twitch thing. But the Twitch community is kind of cool as well. Since she is streaming over on Twitch, I've also found like one or two other streamers over there, which are just nice to listen to. So yeah, it's just fun. It's just kind of a new thing, and you can see, and that's why I kind of remember, because I saw myself. I started setting up back there. This is actually a super old laptop of mine, which doesn't really completely function anymore, but I think I might be able to use that for stream to just see chat and things like that. And you can see my ring light that I set up there. So I've been tinkering around with streaming. This camera can actually stream. I did a firmware upgrade where you can do that. So yeah, I'm playing around with it, is trying to see if it works. But yeah, maybe in the meantime, you guys could let me know if you're even interested in seeing a stream of me. And if you are, but I'm not getting my butt into gear to getting all my stuff figured out, I definitely recommend checking out Nadia from JedXStitch. I'll link her channel and also her Twitch channel down below, but she does post her VODs. They're called here on YouTube, if you're just curious to see how a whole cross-stitch stream would work. And yeah, really enjoying that. And actually, one thing I thought as a test stream, Nadia did that too, so I'm stealing her idea, just to figure out my whole setup and not having the pressure of it all being live. I think I'm going to do a stitch with me, but with my stream setup. stealing an idea to talk about, because that's also a thing. What do you talk about? I feel like with live, you at least have maybe, hopefully, some input from the outside. So that might make some sort of a conversation that you know what to talk about. But if you're just doing a stitch with me, it's always the question, what do you actually talk about? And Jade from the 310 Stitcher, she just recently released a video. Now I forgot the title, but it was basically get to know your stitcher. Get to know your Flosstuber, get to know your stitcher, I don't know, something like that. Where she, I don't know if she came up with those questions herself, maybe. I think it's like 24 questions or something, all revolving around what I prefer or what people prefer in cross stitch, what they do and why they do it and stuff. And it's just very interesting to see everybody's perspectives where you're like, oh yeah, I do that too. I like that too. And it's like, oh, really? That's what you do? You know, it's just kind of interesting to see what everybody does. And some of those things might seem weird, but I've learned that initially I'm like, I'm not sure about that. And then I'm like, maybe let's try that. For instance, parking and the Royal Rose method. Like initially when I saw that, I was just like, oh, you guys are crazy. How can you do this? How can you deal with all those threads and everything? But it just has a place. In my view, I definitely wouldn't stitch every single project like that. But the project I'm doing it on, it just has its place and its reason and it makes sense. So yeah, it's definitely cool to learn all these different opinions and get inspiration to try some new things. Yes. Anyways, so I thought to do kind of a test stream non-live thing, answering those questions, and then maybe do actually a live stream at one point. So yay. Now I'm done rambling. If you're still here, throw me an emoji. All the emojis that come to me are like sun and heat, because like right now I'm very, very heat. Maybe give me the sweating emoji. I do that a lot in summer because I basically start sweating now. And it won't stop until September, so yay. Okay, well, lovely to have you here. See you guys next time, and bye-bye.